Welcome to my channel English Learning Oasis. In this video, join us for a rainy day adventure, a captivating story designed to help you improve your English. This story is perfect for learners of all levels who want to expand their vocabulary and understand English in context. A rainy day adventure. Once upon a time, in the small, picturesque village of Meadowbrook, nestled between rolling green hills and a sparkling river, lived a group of children who were the best of friends. There was Emma, a curious and adventurous girl with a knack for solving mysteries. Tom, a lively boy with a love for animals and nature. Sophie, a kind-hearted and creative girl who loved painting. And Jack, a clever and resourceful boy who enjoyed building and inventing things. Their friendship was the talk of the town, and their days were filled with laughter, exploration, and countless adventures. One summer morning, the children woke up to the sound of raindrops pattering against their windows. Thick clouds had rolled in overnight, and a steady rain began to fall, casting a gray hue over the village. The children had been looking forward to playing outside, but now it seemed they would have to spend the day indoors. Emma gazed out of her window, feeling a twinge of disappointment. She loved being outside, exploring the woods and fields around Meadowbrook. But as she watched the rain fall, an idea struck her. She quickly grabbed her raincoat and boots and dashed out of the house, heading towards the clubhouse they had built in the woods. One by one, the other children received Emma's message. An adventure awaited them, despite the rain. By the time they all gathered at the clubhouse, the rain was coming down in sheets. The clubhouse, a sturdy structure they had built together, provided a dry haven. The children gathered around the wooden table in the center, their faces lit with anticipation. "What kind of adventure are we going on, Emma?" asked Sophie, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. Emma grinned. "I thought we could explore the woods and see how different everything looks in the rain. Plus, I have a feeling that the rain might have revealed something new and exciting for us to discover." Tom's eyes widened with excitement. "Maybe we'll find some new animals or plants that come out in the rain." Jack, ever the inventor, added, "And we could build something to help us explore better, like a rain detector or a water collector." With their minds made up, the children donned their raincoats and boots, grabbed their umbrellas and ventured out into the rain-soaked woods. The familiar path they often took looked completely different. Puddles had formed, leaves glistened with raindrops, and the forest floor was covered in a soft, wet carpet of leaves and mud. As they walked, the children marveled at how alive the forest seemed. Birds sang cheerfully, and the croaking of frogs filled the air. Tom pointed out tiny mushrooms that had sprouted overnight and beetles scurrying across the ground. Sophie stopped to sketch the scene in her notebook, capturing the beauty of the rainy day. They walked deeper into the woods, enjoying the fresh, earthy smell that the rain had brought. Emma led the way, her sharp eyes scanning the forest floor and the underbrush for anything unusual. She had a knack for finding hidden treasures and secret paths, and today was no different. Suddenly, Emma spotted something unusual by the edge of the path. She knelt down and brushed away some leaves to reveal an old, weathered map. The paper was damp but still readable. Emma carefully unfolded it, and the children gathered around to see. "It's a treasure map," Jack exclaimed. "Look, there's an X marked right here in the woods, and there's a strange symbol next to it." The symbol was a crescent moon, and none of the children had seen it before. Intrigued, they decided to follow the map and see where it led. With Emma holding the map and leading the way, they trudged deeper into the forest, their excitement mounting with each step. After about an hour of walking, They reached a clearing with a large, ancient oak tree standing in the center. The X on the map was right where the tree stood. The children spread out and began searching the area for any clues or hidden treasure. Tom, always observant, noticed something shiny near the roots of the tree. He called the others over, and together they dug around the roots, uncovering a small, ornate box. The box was made of metal and decorated with the same crescent moon symbol they had seen on the map. Sophie carefully opened the box, revealing a collection of old coins, a few pieces of jewelry, and a parchment scroll. Jack unrolled the scroll and read aloud, "To those who find this treasure, know that it is a gift from the past. These items belonged to the first settlers of Meadowbrook, who wished to leave behind a piece of their history for future generations. Cherish them and remember the stories of those who came before you." The children stared at the treasure in awe. They couldn't believe they had uncovered a piece of their village's history. They carefully placed everything back in the box and decided to take it to the village museum, where it could be preserved and shared with everyone. As they made their way back through the forest, the rain began to lighten, and the clouds started to break apart, revealing patches of blue sky. By the time they reached the edge of the woods, the sun was peeking through, casting a warm glow over the village. The children hurried to the village museum, where they were greeted by Mr. Thompson, the curator. He listened intently as they recounted their adventure and showed him the treasure they had found. Mr. Thompson was amazed and delighted, and he promised to display the treasure prominently in the museum. That evening, the village held a special gathering to celebrate the children's discovery. The townspeople admired the old coins and jewelry, and Mr. Thompson shared stories about the early settlers of Meadowbrook. The children beamed with pride, knowing they had brought a piece of their village's history to light. As the celebration drew to a close, Emma, Tom, Sophie, and Jack sat together, reflecting on their rainy day adventure. Despite the rain, they had experienced one of the most exciting days of their lives. Who would have thought a rainy day could turn into such an amazing adventure? Tom said with a smile. Emma nodded. It just goes to show that sometimes the best adventures happen when you least expect them. Sophie added, and it's not just about what you find, but the journey and the memories you make along the way. Jack grinned. I can't wait to see what our next adventure will be. The next morning, the sun shone brightly, and the rain was just a memory. The children met at the clubhouse, excited to start a new day of exploration. They had no specific plans, but they knew that whatever they decided to do, it would be another memorable adventure. As they set out, they noticed that the rain had left the forest even more vibrant and alive. The flowers were brighter, the leaves greener, and the air fresher. It was as if the forest had been rejuvenated, ready to welcome them on their next journey. Emma led the group to a part of the forest they had never explored before. It was denser, with tall trees and thick underbrush. The path was narrow and winding, but Emma was determined to see where it led. The others followed eagerly, trusting her instincts. After walking for a while, they came across a small stream. The water was clear and cool, and the children decided to take a break. They sat on the grassy bank, dipping their toes in the water and enjoying the peaceful surroundings. As they relaxed, Sophie noticed something sparkling in the water. She leaned closer and saw a small, shiny object partially buried in the sand. She carefully retrieved it and held it up for the others to see. It was a beautifully crafted locket, decorated with intricate patterns and a tiny, sparkling gem in the center. The children examined it closely, marveling at its beauty. Do you think it belongs to someone? Tom asked. Maybe, Emma replied. But it looks like it's been here for a long time. It could be another piece of Meadowbrook's history. Jack suggested they take the locket to Mr. Thompson at the museum. He might be able to tell them more about it and find out if it belonged to anyone in the village. With their curiosity piqued, the children made their way back to the village, locket in hand. Mr. Thompson was delighted to see them again and eagerly examined the locket. He explained that it was a Victorian-era piece, likely belonging to someone of significance in the village's history. Mr. Thompson promised to research the locket's origins and let the children know what he found. In the meantime, the children continued their exploration, excited by the possibility of uncovering more hidden treasures. Over the next few days, the children visited the museum regularly, eager for any news about the locket. They also continued to explore the forest, finding new paths and discovering the beauty of their surroundings. Each day brought new surprises and adventures, strengthening their bond and creating lasting memories. One afternoon, Mr. Thompson called the children to the museum. He had discovered something remarkable about the locket. It had belonged to a young woman named Eliza, who had lived in Meadowbrook during the Victorian era. Eliza was known for her adventurous spirit and love for nature, much like the children themselves. Mr. Thompson explained that Eliza had written a series of journals about her adventures in the forest. These journals had been lost over time, but the discovery of the locket reignited interest in her story. The children were thrilled and asked if they could help search for the lost journals. Mr. Thompson agreed, and the children set out on a new adventure. They scoured the forest, following clues and retracing Eliza's steps. It was a challenging task, but the children were determined. They explored every nook and cranny, uncovering hidden paths and secret hideaways. After weeks of searching, they finally found a small, weathered box hidden in a hollow tree. Inside were Eliza's journals, carefully wrapped in cloth to protect them from the elements. The children were ecstatic and rushed back to the museum to share their discovery. Mr. Thompson was overjoyed and praised the children for their perseverance and dedication. The journals were in surprisingly good condition, and Mr. Thompson promised to transcribe them so everyone in the village could read about Eliza's adventures. The village held another celebration to honor the children's discovery. This time, the focus was on Eliza and her remarkable story. The children felt a deep connection to Eliza, knowing that they shared her love for adventure and the natural world. As they sat together at the celebration, Emma, Tom, Sophie, and Jack reflected on their journey. They had started with a rainy day adventure and ended up uncovering a significant part of their village's history. They felt proud and grateful for the experiences they had shared and the memories they had created. The children knew that their adventures were far from over. There were still many unexplored areas of the forest, countless mysteries to solve, and endless opportunities for discovery. They looked forward to each new day, knowing that their friendship and shared love for adventure would lead them to more incredible experiences. And so, the story of Emma, Tom, Sophie, and Jack continued, filled with exploration, discovery, and the joy of friendship. Each day, rain or shine, held the promise of a new adventure, and the children embraced it with open hearts and boundless curiosity.